Hey everyone, Mark here at the Action Figuratorium, and this episode of the Toy Talk, I'm going to ask one of my famous questions is what is or are penny dreadful action figures? These are some kind of 6-inch line of Victorian misanthropic public domain characters that I'm going to talk about on today's episode, so stick around. Okay, so 2014, there's a, I believe it's a British production, a show called Penny Dreadful, and it's yet another attempt to take the sort of Victorian steampunk era and use characters from it that are public domain and shoehorn them all in together. You may recall a movie called League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Took this idea, was actually itself borrowed from this screenplay called Cast of Characters that never got made. I think you guys should look it up. There was a lawsuit involving these two properties. Quite interesting, the background on these. So this is more of that. This is more of, we're going to take some characters, you know, like a Jack the Ripper or Jekyll and Hyde or, you know, Dracula or Frankenstein, that kind of thing, and we're going to sort of shoehorn them into a show. And the show was called Penny Dreadful, and it came out on Showtime. And I've never seen any of the episodes. I've never seen clips from it. I've never seen stills from it. I don't know any of the actors who are in it. I don't know anything about this other than I looked it up just to make sure that it was a thing and that it ran for 3 seasons and has 27 episodes. Other than that, don't know anything. I mean, it could have been loved, it could have been hated, but I do know this, is that they made action figures for it. And the question really is why? Why do we have action figures made for every single property that is out there? Like, does this show need action? Like, are there fans out there who are going to go out and buy these tchotchkes? I mean, this is made by a company called Biff Bang Pow, right? And so you probably never even heard of them. So you're assuming that it's kind of a low-rent cheeseball kind of thing. But it comes in a box with a clear see-through. And it's a 6-inch figure, right? So somebody made this. It's got its own mold, right? It actually comes with a little accessory. There's a little, like a drinking vessel for him to kind of walk around. This is Dorian Gray. And I picked this guy up because I saw him on eBay, and it was less than $10. And in fact, if we go to eBay right now, you can pick one of these up. Convention exclusive, $9.34, Dorian Gray, exactly like the one I have here. And you may find that these characters are perfect for customizing and kit bashing of other figures. Like if you want to make some kind of a, you know, like a Victorian Marvel Legends thing, where you want to bring out like that, you know, the Black Queen and all that kind of stuff, where she's, you know, dressed up like the woman from the Avengers in the 60s, that kind of thing. And so maybe you buy one of these guys for under $10, like the one shown here, and you know, you put whatever X-Man character head on it, that kind of thing, you know. So the characters that they came out with then, this is a page from Entertainment Earth. So it's these 8 figures here, and you look at them and you see that they're all kind of like that Victorian age with either the tails or long coats, or maybe they're kind of cowboy and Indian-esque, you know. They've kind of got that hat and the coat and the vest and the tie and all that sort of thing. And so you may find that these guys become just awesome, cheap, inexpensive background characters in your dioramas. I mean, they're 6-inch, they'll work with all these other scales. You could, you know, I mean, they could, you could fit them into some G.I. Joe scenario if you had to. They could be One of these guys you could shoehorn in the background of a Cantina for your Black series. Any of like the Marvel stuff this would work with. So right out of the gate, these guys are just sort of generic travelers of kind of any time, but they have enough cool looking clothes and deco on them to where I think they don't look like generic, they look like real action figures. So for whatever reason, these are not terrible. You know, the plastic feels about what Marvel Legends feels like. The hands feel a little kind of weird and loose. The head feels good. The paint all looks good on it. This guy's got a cool stripy vest underneath, and the jacket is like a rubber piece that fits over. So, I mean, if you were just trying to shop around for like a cool 1/12 scale tuxedo to put over one of your characters, I mean, you know, you could have like a sleeveless Wolverine with a tuxedo on, and for $10, and you'd still get the action figure you could do something with. You could rob the clothes off this guy, you know. So this is just one of these figures from this Penny Dreadful line, and you could milk this line for whatever. But I suggest you you go to eBay and just put an alert up or something, and anytime somebody has one for $10 of less of any one of these guys, just pick it up and throw it in the jar of background figures. I mean, it can only make for a cooler world for your other figures to be in photography with, or if you're just a collector, displays them on the shelf. There could be some amazing looking weirdos that just sort of pop into your collection. So I don't know, maybe you've heard of these guys, maybe you haven't. If you haven't and this video pops up in your feed and you go, okay, that's interesting, I didn't know these guys exist, I'm gonna take a look around. Take a look around and feel free to scoop these guys up for the cheap. You know, a similar thing was a recommendation I had for the Funko Legacy collection for the Magic the Gathering figures. Any one of those of the 6 they came out with plays really nice with Mythic Legions. They fit right at home. And they're usually on the average $10 or less, and that's even for some of the bigger ones like the weirdo Lion Man guy. So with that, I hope this has been a helpful tip. Kind of cool, something different, and you know, as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one.